Okay, so I'm just getting set up. Okay, so welcome to community breathing and tension release. I'm just going to give this 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and get started. We are going to start on the floor. Ooh. So we're going to start just sitting on the floor, relaxing into our hips. So you can take a comfortable position, even sitting up on top of something if you prefer. Just finding a sense of release into your front hips and your lower back. You can cross your feet. You can come out into a little bit of a long diamond shape here. You can bring your feet forward. Whatever helps you feel nice and relaxed in your back and your hips. And we're just going to find that release. Feel your sitting bones for just a moment here, rocking side to side, releasing through the sits bones into the floor, and then coming back through center and just finding that nice dropping down through the low back, through the tail. I'm sorry, I have to let some people in here on my Zoom. Okay. There we go. Okay, so finding the release in the hips, finding the release in the low back. We're just going to close our eyes for a moment, let the breath drop down into the base of the spine, into the base of the pelvis, feeling a nice long release from your shoulders all the way down through the low back and tail. Taking some nice deep breaths, dropping down, releasing, starting to focus internally on the breath, releasing any external thoughts or tensions. And then we're just going to gently open the eyes, taking the palms together, starting to bring the breath up into the palms and start to glide forward and back, creating some energy, some free heat, some friction between the fingers here. Breathing in between the fingers. And then separating the palms, feeling that energy between the hands, and let that push the palms out into the space around you. So we're feeling that sense of breath move us in any direction that feels good, from the inside to the outside, breathing from the inside to move around your space, feeling that you're using and exploring all the space around you that you have to grow into, all the way through, up above, down below, around the sides and behind. And then we're going to reach out, gathering energy through the space, through our palms, and then taking that, sensing it over the eyes, over the face, and just breathing to wash that over the face and eyes, finding a nice release through that. And then we're going to take our fingertips into the brow bone, breathing out and pressing from the inside to the outside. Nice little exhale as you come around with that lift into your hairline, breathing out, massaging opening up above the eyes. And then coming underneath the eyes, using your index finger, using the exhale and just flushing from the inside to the outside through the orbital bone, through your sinuses. Using the breath to just flush that through and release, opening the face from the center. And then releasing through the fingertips, just taking a nice little scrubbing up and down, moving the skin on the forehead. Ironing any lines out, moving the lymph around, and then coming around to the outside of the eyes, the temples, very light circular massage, just moving the skin around a bit here, breathing through that, and then continuing to make your way down in between the upper and lower jaw. So we're gonna breathe and give a little bit more pressure, relaxing the jaw open and massaging in between. I'm just gonna make sure this is muted here. Oh no, I feel like my settings are different. There we go. And so now we've gotten a really good massage into the jaw. We're gonna come around up above the ears and just taking a nice little scrubbing, lifting into the scalp, lifting up away from the ears, breathing through the fingertips, coming around to the back of the head, feeling a nice sense of length up through the neck into your head here, feeling that your head has a little bit of separation up out of the neck. And then we're gonna come right into the top of the neck, right into that crease between the skull and the spine there, just digging into the occipital, moving your fingers maybe a little bit out to the side towards your ears, breathing into that. And then again, close to the spine, a nice circular massage, gliding down through the back of the neck along the erectors, breathing into that release, trying to soften things up as you massage, working your way down the neck into the tops of the shoulders. And then once we've reached the tops of the shoulders, let's dig the fingers back over top and then just take a nice exhale, sweeping over, peeling out any stress or tension through the fingers and shaking it off the palms. And then going back again, nice exhale, releasing through the shoulders and sweeping that through, shaking it off. One more time, going back and exhale, releasing that and shaking it away. And then we're going to interlace the fingers, feel the breath through the base of the spine, come all the way in and up, lifting you up through the palms. So we're not trying to take the hands first here. Let that support lift you up out of the pelvis, breathing through the spine. And then wiggling up out of the hips, releasing through the hips, through the back, getting a little bit of separation from the bones and the tissue there. And then coming back through center, letting the tail sweep under, letting the arms drape down in front. We're going to take a nice circle. Inhale, breathing through the side ribs. Relax the shoulders as you come up, breathing through the chest. And exhale over. And feeling the tail sweep under as you come around and down. And again, long tail, breathing in between the ribs, looking up and over. And exhale, sweeping the tail under to come around. And inhale, just relaxing through the bones, breathing through the bones as you move around and forward and down. And letting the breath come in as you come up through the top. And then changing your direction over to the other side, sweeping under, breathing through the low back, back of the ribs. Breath comes in, eyes lift up. And exhale over, sweeping the tail under, around. Inhale, long tail through the floor to lift you up. And exhale and under. Sweeping around, letting the breath come in to come all the way up through the top, Feeling the breath from the base of the spine, reach up through the palms again. And we're just going to keep that lift inside as we open the palms around and down. So now from here, we're going to take the feet out in front. And we're just going to do a nice little kneading from one side to the other. So one knee's bent, the other heel's reaching out. The heel that's out, fingertips, you're just going to gently breathe through the spine to lift up and yawn through that foot, rolling through, reaching out and change. So there's just that gentle feedback through the palm, opening through the spine with the breath. And you don't have to roll through the foot there, but just feel that you can breathe through it and find that sense of release and openness from the sole of the foot through the toes. Now from here, take your opposite hand behind and just give that little push over the tail, letting the arm hang from the shoulder, opening from the chest, release and change. And as the breath comes in, we lift up and over, feeling that openness in the chest, and release and change. The breath comes in from the base of the spine and up, and release and change again. Breath comes in, lifting up over the tail, relaxing the arm through, and release. So now we're going to take both arms up and circle wrists and ankles, breathing through them, making our way around and down towards the floor, just hanging over the legs. So your feet can be wider apart and nice and comfortable in the hips here, relaxing through the backs of the knees. Use the weight of your head to bring you forward to hang over the legs. So we're just breathing out and hanging, finding a true release through the head to release through the neck here. As we exhale through the nose, feel that the head drops with your exhale. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't even have to move at all. So use your breath to help feel a sense of letting go a little bit more through the head and feeling that release travel all the way down through the back, through the sacrum. And then relaxing through center, use the weight of your head to sway side to side, shifting and swaying to the outside of one knee and the outside of the other. So we're breathing through the sides of the ribs, breathing through the upper back, releasing in the hips. So this is going to graduate to become a little bit more of a rocking and shifting from one sitting bone to the other. You're just gently peeling off one side and dropping down, really favoring the side that you're shifting on, breathing into that shift. So you get a really nice traction from one side to the other. And then using the breath through the low abdomen, we're going to shift the hip back and walk backwards, dragging the legs. So you're breathing through the sacrum, shifting in the hip sockets, dragging the leg along the floor, nice and heavy, using your breath to release and move through the sacrum while feeling that nice internal connection through the low abdomen, dantian. We're going to come forward now, lifting the hip up and dropping the leg out. So there's a little bit of a bend in the knee, making space to release the leg from the hip. So the hips and the lower back are moving the leg, making space, gliding out along the floor. You can push off your sitting bone to lift the other up, just like you do with your feet there when you're walking. And then just relaxing and hanging over, breathing out. Feel the breath from the base of the spine roll into your spine, lifting you up nice and tall. Inhale, find that nice lift and lift and lift. And as you get up through the top, keep finding that low abdomen, scooping in and up, bringing you up all the way. And just feeling that for a moment and then letting it go. So let's take the legs out. Nice little scoop, curl under. We're going to use our fists just to drum into the low back and the sacrum, breathing into it. Going around to the outside, into the glutes a little bit here, releasing any tension through there. And then working our way up the sides of the spine, feeling that nice release away from the spine, towards the kidneys, towards the ribs if you can, and then back down again. And then we're going to drop the fist right down into the sides of the hips here, just breathing into that, letting the palms gently bounce off of your hips. So not trying to push or punch, right? So we're just letting that drop and release the momentum. And then we'll come around to the back side of the hip. So now there's a circular flushing motion, pushing any tension or tightness down through the leg, out through the feet here. And then we're going to open the palm, use the heels of the hands right along the sides of the legs, on the IT band lines. Breathing and fluffing and kind of scooping, releasing the muscles. We want to feel a nice shake going on here, releasing off the bones. We're traveling down the sides of the legs, all the way to the knees, but right up above the knees. And once you get up above the knees, we're going to just kind of fluff things up around the tops of the knees. So where the quadriceps attach into the knees, go around into the inside. And right over top again, using our fingertips and just dropping down into the kneecaps, over through the patella, feeling a nice vibration. Using this vibration and breath into the knees, waking up the knee joints here. And then traveling down the shin bones, same vibration, feeling the vibration, which stimulates our nervous system, which wakes up our muscles, all the way down to the ankles, and then back up the shins again. And then we're going to lean back, use the heel of the hands, and flush from the hips down through the knees, releasing. You can give a little bit more pressure here, breathing into that. Go all around your legs. So your legs are round. We're finding that release to the outside, and then over top through the center and to the inside. And then coming down to the outside of the shins, the peroneals, that nice fluffy, bouncy type motion again. Using your breath, try not to hold your breath, just releasing through the palms here. Waking that up. And then bringing the feet in, letting the knees gently hang out to the side. So we're not trying to stretch. We're going to use the tops of the palms here, and just through the inner thigh line, the adductors, a downward releasing motion. Releasing through the hip sockets, through the inside lines of the legs here. Travel down this inner thigh line towards your knees with that same flushing motion down away. Going into the direction of our circulation there. And then gently flexing through the heels, slight engagement through our calves. Take a deep breath and drop into your calves. So we're feeling that release, that little lateral shake in the calves here, releasing, dropping, shifting. And you can go a little bit lighter and use more repetition closer to the leg, just gently bouncing off. Make sure you get nicely into the lower portion of the calves, into your Achilles a little bit here. Just kind of bouncing off that area there. And then taking the hands back behind, relaxing on the floor, and just shaking the legs out, releasing behind the knees. Take a nice little shift in the hips and the shoulders. We're going to bring one knee up, inhale. We start the exhale through that low belly, gathering. Then let the leg go. And again, change. So we're finding a connection before we release. And again. Feeling the length from our hip, through the back of the knee, through the heel, along the floor. Again. Now we're just going to let the legs hang and drop apart, using that same gathering breath through the abdomen. Take a nice little tap and let go. And again, using the breath. And finding that nice release right after you tap. And again. Now we're going to come into the feet. So let's bring the feet in, relaxing the feet and just kind of rolling through the ankles, massaging, starting to breathe into the feet, focusing on the feet here. And then relaxing the feet on the floor. Let's massage right underneath the ankle bone into the inside of the heels, breathing and flushing through, getting a really good kind of scrubby massage here to wake up these inside ankles. So we really want to feel this not only release, but come alive a little bit more to support that alignment. And then start to flush underneath the feet, breathing and taking a nice deep massage, especially into the arches, really flushing from your heels through the balls of the feet into your toes. So giving a nice kind of tractioning underneath the foot through the metatarsal lines, along the bone lines. And getting up underneath the toes a little bit. So where the toes extend out, the true balls of our feet there, releasing through those joints, opening things up. And then just take your hands underneath the feet, the balls of the feet, and then hold with your fingertips, hold your toes apart a little bit. We just want to spread the toes apart, relax the feet, and breathe into this space between the toes for a moment here. And then releasing out of that. So we're going to come around with the hands back behind. Our knees are together. We don't have to keep the feet together. Feel a nice gathering underneath through your sits bones, like you're collecting and scooping under. Feeling the length of the sacrum round under a little bit. We're going to walk through the feet, breathing through the feet. Exhale. Feeling that connection from the pelvis down and out through the toes. The toes pull the feet up and forward. So we're doming through the feet. That reach of the toes pulls us through the walk. And exhale, sending the energy away. And walk. And exhale from the pelvis down. Now when we get too far away, let's reverse with the toes going under and breathing back into the pelvis. And toes go over, doming, feeling the whole sole of your foot breathe into the floor, especially the arches here. So sometimes that gets a little bit held, especially if you have high arches. Feel that the arch of the foot melts and expands into the floor. And then you can actually reach out through that point a little bit more easily once it's more open. Let's take that same idea walking forward again, energy from the pelvis down and out. That same as you're reaching out through the toes, feel that the soles of the feet, the arches expand and melt into the floor. And that allows your toes to open up, more space in between the toes, releasing. Gives nice support through your ankles too, nice and even. Relaxing, shaking the legs out here. We're going to bring the legs back in to whatever comfortable position you found before. Cross, long diamond, feet out here. Relaxing in the sits bones, using the breath, and just take a nice massage, lifting the chest up. Feeling that your breath expands through the sides of the ribs as you inhale. And just feeling that you're flushing through the lips, breathing into this release, waking up the organs, coming all the way down into the front of the hips, into the groin, just moving and breathing through this lymph here a little bit. And then right up into the center of the chest, feeling a nice release, breathing through the sternum and just kind of scrubbing up and down, letting go of any tension there. And then taking nice long strokes through the fingertips down from the ribs into the hips, underneath the sides of the ribs. Breathing and lengthening and coming up, unsticking that bottom rib, breathing into that space. And then coming back through center. Now we're going to relax the shoulders, relax the arms, just let them hang down. And relax your head, take your hand and massage into the front of the shoulder. Relaxing the head over. You can gently move your head around a little bit here. Moving, again, get all that mushy stuff moving around. A lot of lymph in this area. And just breathing through that. Also, you can work out any little tightnesses around the bones you feel, especially closer to the shoulder and your clavicle. And then relaxing and changing to your side. And just relaxing the head, breathing into this release. And feeling out whether or not you want to move your head gently. Releasing, sort of untangling from the neck. Getting a really nice flush through into the lymph there. And then using the breath through the palm, we're going to exhale and just drop the palm up and over the shoulder. Again, letting the palm bounce off the shoulder, letting the head gently relax out to the side. Rely on your breath and momentum here. So we're just using the hand to breathe through. We're using the palm to send breath over top, feeling a sense of openness and awareness through the upper back into our lungs, into our ribs. And then relaxing here, letting the tail release under. Feel the breath come from the base of the spine, lifting you up inside as you inhale. Lifting up and up and up and up and up. We're going to exhale, keep that lift and release the arms. Down and out. And again, releasing the tail. Gather the breath from inside, in and up along the spine, lifting you through the spine up. Keeping that, letting tension go. And one more time, inhale, gathering through the base of the spine all the way up, feeling that length of your abdomen up along the spine, release. And then we're just gonna shake it all out. Breathing through this release, relax your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists here, using your breath to let the tension go. Letting the muscles shake off the bones. Getting that nice fuzzy feeling all the way down into our hands and our fingers. And then from here, relaxing the shoulders, feeling that openness and breath through the sternum and the solar plexus. We're going to take each finger, using the breath to wiggle it open, and then open from the center out through the arms. So we're trying to find a sense of openness and release through the chest, not necessarily throwing the arms back. So we're clearing that out from the neck all the way down. There's a sense of gently lifting up out of your hips a little. Trying to feel how your breath coordinates with that opening. Sometimes that doesn't feel open. We might know that it's there, but to feel it and focus on that breath right through the center. And then going to the other palm, each little finger feels different, breathing it open. Trying to send maybe a little bit more breath on ones that feel stuck there. Relaxing through the shoulders and breathing it free. And then just taking the hands together, interlacing the fingers, we're just going to squeeze and let go. You can do a little bit of shearing forward and back through the palms here, getting some breath and space in between the fingers. And then just relaxing the shoulders, using that breath through the wrists and gently gliding around, letting this go, letting your breath lead this release here. And then of course, we're going to reverse it. Same idea. Try to find your breath to let this flow through more easily. And then just releasing apart. We're going to inhale from the center of the palm open. Exhale, gather in through the center. So we're not pulling the fingers away from the palm. We're unraveling from the center and then pulling back into the center. Very different. Inhale. And exhale, draw in. And so whatever that is for you, try not to force it, try not to go too hard, try not to pull too much. Just feel a connection and that kneading. And then from here, so we're going to do the same thing from the base of the spine and pelvis, breathing through the dantian. So we're going to inhale, expand up and open, light. Use a nice long squeezing exhale, squeezing out through the fingertips, the toes, the eyes. Keep scooping, squeezing the breath out through the dantian, squeezing out anything negative, physical or emotional, pushing it out with your breath. Letting the breath into open and expand on the inhale. And again, squeezing out anything you don't need anymore. You're making space for new energy to come in, cleansing the old out, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. letting the breath expand and open you back up. And again, exhale, squeezing out. So we're squeezing through those distal points, compressing, using our breath to release anything we don't need anymore. Letting the breath in. On this last one, we're going to use our exhale, but gather that light new energy through the fingertips and toes, drawing that into our center, feeling that sense of openness and connection, enveloping it. And just releasing anything that's left, shaking it off. And then now let's come around into the ears. You can relax and hang your jaw open again here. We're going to use the fingertips to massage all around those inside lines of the ears, breathing and flushing through and just sort of pressing. You know, there's tons of lovely acupressure points here. You can press right into that, if you know where your templar area is there, and then right into the ear nubs. And of course, my all-time favorite is gently pulling the ears away from the head, just going around and releasing through the jaw, feeling that sense of openness through the back of the head and the neck. And then we're going to come around with our fingertips into the occipital, again, relaxing your jaw and chin. This time, feel a sense of lifting through that massage up through the back of your body. So we're connecting into that back body, lifting and lengthening up. Then take your hands into the back of your head. Rest your head into your palms a bit with your chin dropping and releasing. Use your hands to pull up, releasing and lengthening. A little bit more traction, sweeping the palms up and open. So feeling that sense of length through the spine, coming up and out through the eyes. We're going to use the eyes to scan the room, just looking around, not trying to be too intense with this, just absorbing and actually seeing everything that's around you in your space. And once you come over to the side, take a new breath and change, scanning the room to the other side, feeling nice and supported from inside. Trying to see every little detail. Taking a new breath and scanning the room again to the other side. This time we're looking out beyond the space that we're in, trying to feel a sense of openness through the walls, out over a beautiful horizon, feeling a nice connection to the outside while feeling connected inside. And again, scanning the room. And now bringing the eyes back through center, feeling the breath scoop in and up from the base of the spine. We're going to take a deep breath in without closing the neck area and the throat. Let the breath come up from the pelvis. Inhale and hold and lift that breath. Squeezing the eyes shut. And then exhale, gently opening the eyes. A little blinking, taking your fingers and just sweeping away anything that's left hanging out, those little cobwebs around the face. Feeling a nice release and openness come through. And then the fingertips into the skull, breathing and just bouncing off all around. Finding that vibration into the head, coming around to the back of the head. Now we want a nice little sweeping up motion. Go nice and gentle so that you feel your jaw and chin can still let go. I'm just using fingertips up here, not trying to hit your head. And then feeling that sense of length right up through the occipital here. You can start off by spotting from side to side, but make sure we're not going out and shearing. We want to breathe into the length of the spine to release through the top of the spine. So use your spot as you exhale. If you feel comfortable, rely more on the release through the occipital and let your jaw go. Let your eyes, you're still seeing, but you're not able to focus so much. Using the breath and just give a nice little shake and release up there. And then let it slow down gently so that you come back into focus. Let's take the fingers into the suture sagittalis, right into the front of the hairline here. Just pressing down, breathing and pulling apart and release. Just a little bit, working your way a little bit back more and release. And right through the crown of the head, our fontanelle, or what used to be, and letting that go. Releasing open. So now we're going to come around onto our hands and knees after sitting for such a while here. We're going to just breathe through the back of the legs, finding that sense of breath from the spine through the pelvis, all the way down through the foot. So reaching one foot back, finding your heel, tucking the toes under, make sure your tail is not too high up here. Relax into the tail. Feel the breath come from the center, flush down and glide back. Breathing, you can kind of lean into it a little bit to feel your psoas release there, and then change or engage. And tucking the toes under. Find that gliding in your heel to release and flush through and change. You can think of the breath coming from underneath your rib, all the way down and out through the heel, and change. So we're not just sinking into the leg, we're connecting and flushing through, controlling and change. Controlling in a good way, not in a bad way, connecting, breathing through and shifting back and change. Using the breath to release and connect and flush through, opening through the foot and in. So now if you're comfortable, we're going to tuck the toes under, take the hands back towards your knees and just lift your tail back and over your heels. If your knees will let you do this, you can stay here and just hang and breathe. If that's not great, you can just come over into bent knees and drop your tail and hang your arms there. So whatever you're doing, find the release in the tail, shifting back over your heels. If you're on the floor, you can use your hands to gently massage, do a little bit of rocking forward and back on your feet. Your hands change your weight shift. So it's passive a little bit through the feet. We're releasing the Achilles. Take your hands really close to the toes, take a deep breath, and exhale, scoop and lift the tail up, stretching through the legs. You can separate your feet a little bit more. We're gonna shake the legs out as we're hanging over here. And then we're gonna bend one knee and hang a little bit over the bent knee. We're shifting and breathing down. Your tail is going down the straight leg, hip, and heel. Exhale. And then change. So we're not favoring the bent leg. We're actually just releasing over it, but breathing down from the tail through the straight leg, heel, unraveling through the hip and change. And exhale, breathing through that straight leg side. And if you feel that this is available, you can scoop and curl the head, looking into your navel, and release. So you're going to be able to see that scoop and curl, plan more length through the low back and tail in the curl. And one more time, shifting over and dropping into that leg, heel, scooping and curling up. Coming back through center, just hanging over the legs here, planning that release through the head. As you inhale, scoop, lift your stomach up, up, up to the ceiling, and feel your sacrum and tail draw down through the floor. So we're breathing into the spine as we roll through and up, especially as we almost get all the way up. Keep that going, lifting, lifting, lifting. And as you come up, finding the sense of length through the hips, lower back, the legs here. I'm just going to shift this. So we're going to do a little bit of breathing and standing up here. So we're finding that sense of length down through the tail, into the floor, down and out behind us, long in the hips. So we want to feel that the feet, they don't have to smush together. You can separate the feet if you feel that's where you're connected from your hips. Bring them as close as you feel connected and comfortable through. Do not force it. It'll push things out in a different direction. So feel that you're right under where you should be naturally here. Fingertips on the low belly through the dantian. We're going to use the mouth to sip in and up, lifting and gathering up out of the base of the spine and pelvis. We feel a lift and a separation through the muscles. The fingertips are there to observe and sort of help a little bit, pushing in. We're going to use the sip in and an exhale. So just here, try not to hold it in your shoulders. I know that happens sometimes. Feel the breath come in and lift you inside and up. As we exhale, keep this lift and gently soften the knees to suspend up even more. The breath comes in to lift you up again. Suspending it and lift, exhale. And again, in and up, sipping. And keeping that, and exhale. Using this breath, we're going to initiate through the dantian. This time, let the arms expand and float up from the breath. Feeling the shoulder blades gently glide down as the arms come up. And then exhale, feel that lift inside as you release your knees and elbows circling forward, around, and down. Breath comes in and up again. Suspending it and keeping that as you exhale, releasing knees and elbows forward, around, and down. And again, one more time, breath comes through. Floating the arms through and exhale. Now we're going to let the tail curl under. Fingertips are going to trace the breath line from the dantian through the base of the spine all the way up. This time, palms gently touch together. It can be fingertips here. Feel the breath from the solar plexus through the sternum. Breathe. You can look up, breathing that space open. Release the arms from the chest wide as you exhale. Now as we come around, the tail sweeps under to bring the arms through. Breath comes in and up again. Finding that nice long internal connection, feeling the tail lengthen down and out, eyes come up. And the breath lifts you up and open as you exhale, releasing the arms around. And tail sweeps under one more time. Breath comes in. Feeling that connection from the base of the spine all the way through and up, out your eyes. And just breathing that open exhale. Releasing under through the tail, around. And then just coming all the way up through center, taking a deep breath, lifting the shoulders up, around, and back. Just taking a couple roll throughs here. Feeling that sense of lift and openness from the solar plexus through the sternum, and that's what opens the shoulders to circle. Inhale. And exhale. And then you can just take a little walk if you want. Releasing, finding that length in your hips and through your tail. Just kind of moving around the room. And we're gonna stop there. Good. So, I mean, there's the whole thing going on here, but we're gonna just pause that there. 1 second, Johanna. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you again next month, December 13th. Bye. Okay, sorry.